All right. Mr. Fresno, you with us?
I'm on it.
Okay. See, post Labor
Hey,
Day.
George.
Hey, Jeff, how's it going?
Good.
All right, post Labor Day, we'll see how many people arrive, how it goes. Anyways, let's continue where we left off. So can you see me okay, George? Is the lighting okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, basically I was talking with Jeff and we're obviously having those conversations with a lot of the big dogs and um but there's going to be a handful of the DLE members. We're thinking about like three or four of them where we want to test it out by doing like basically the lifestyle photo shoot, the quick 1 minute video of you walking downtown Fresno and just act like you're the mayor of the town. You know what I mean? Like walking, shaking hands with people, maybe kissing a little baby, and just getting that mindset that you're the mayor and you just run the show and you're like the go-to. And it's gonna, be really good for your social media. And then after you talk to Sherry today, and we figure out what the best strategy is if you flip it to a service area. But we're gonna do an experiment with this. It's gonna be like for example, the keyword, I've gotten so many listing calls from owning the keyword, appraiser in Claremont, right? And like how we were talking this morning, like, they'll Google brokers in Fresno, California, and Mr. Fresno comes up, right? Well, what I've made a lot of money by doing is by just going all in on the metadata infusions and then focusing on the keyword appraiser in Claremont and appraisal near me. And they perceive Mr. Claremont Real Estate as an appraisal company. And I've ranked high nationally on those keywords. And I've been getting all these calls from people that, have parents that might live in Fresno, for example, and they die and they're looking for a realtor, right? And then if they ask me to do an appraisal, I just refer it to an appraiser and they charge, I don't know, 300, 400, $500 for the appraisal. And then they kick me, a few $100, right? So what I have, envisioned is just, doing that video, right? And then basically I want you to start focusing, getting a little bit creative and just hammering out that keyword appraiser and just dominating that keyword because you'll get a lot of listings that way. And then doing, just kind of like a video testimony on your experience as being Mr. Fresno. And we're going to give that to Brett and Glenn Sanford, and they're just going to blow it out through, a big way. And we could really focus on the referral network angle for you too.
Well, I'll tell you what we're thinking, George, is that there might be a product in DLE's future that I've been trying to think of a name for it. The only one that I've come up with so far is DLE Turbocharge. But basically a way of putting the whole thing on steroids. I don't know what the price tag will be. Maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 2,000, maybe it's 3. I don't know what it's worth. But it will involve some additional social media stuff. It'll involve some video stuff. It'll involve us doing a bunch more work, including getting national exposure for selected members that that end up wanting to do this. And by doing that, we believe that there's a great opportunity for them to get referrals from afar.
Right, but that's for just talking about that program for other agents that in the future we bring into the fold. But we're paying for everything for you guys. And speaking of Mr. Miss Montana, are you with us? Can you hear us there? Want to make sure.
Yeah, this is Tony, but yeah, I'm here and Nadine should be on, or if not, she should be getting on.
Okay.
I'm here also.
All right, cool. Yeah, actually, Jeff and I, so what we're talking about, just to bring in the fold, is it's really interesting because right now, so I'm glad you guys are here post Labor Day. I'm sure everyone's pretty hungover or whatever, and doing their thing there. But but both you guys were at the last in-person, mastermind, which was great. And what we're going to talk about today is just, the content that's, on your portal and how to increase SEO. But more importantly, I'm glad you guys are here because, I was actually, Mr. and Miss Fontana, going to call you direct. And see, right now, Jeff and I were having conversations with, besides like, the owner of Remax and the former CEO, Adam Contos, we're also having conversations with, I'm glad Miss Mission Viejo. This is the magic three I wanted to be on here today. So, Evelyn, can you hear us? Well, anyways, we'll let her jump in, but here's what we're going to be doing next. So what Jeff and I are going to pay for a select group. We're only going to choose 3 to 4 video DLE members in our SoCal group, and we're going to test this out. But what we're going
to you could call it product development. I mean, it isn't we're doing it because we love you and want you to be successful. But we also, I mean, just so you know, we're business people. We think that our future might involve a product that that gets sold to other people down the road. But because you guys have been so good and hardworking and loyal and doing all the things that we want to do, we want to build this thing out and make sure see how fabulous it can be and what it might be worth. But you're going to get it for free. It really, as we do product development, that's really what we're talking about.
So what I wanted to talk about today is just 2 things. So did you guys gather from the last mastermind in person? We're all connected through backlinking. So for example, Mr. Fresno's success, Mr. Claremont's success, Miss Fontana, Miss Mission Viejo, if you're ranking high and people are clicking on your website, we all rise together. Does that make sense? Did you understand that part of it, George?
Yeah. That was so powerful to know that. And then as we discussed at the in-person when Miss San Francisco was only on, I think you said a week or so, and she's already like in the top 5 because a lot of that was that back end SEO linking.
Mr. Phoenix, exactly. So the beauty of us, see, like now Jeff and I, we've been, our main focus hasn't been just just going through everyone that's inquired and applied and just growing out the network quickly. Like we've been focused on how do we create the industry's first agent-centric office. And because of backlinking now, we're in a position where we're like, okay, we're going to now start taking next steps for expansion and bringing in other agents and members, because the more we bring in and the more success that one agent has, we all rise together. And then if you're consistently ranking high for all these keywords, you're going to crush it, right? Quick question, Mr. Fontana, did your Google business get approved yet for Miss Fontana? You're still?
No, actually not yet. I know Nadine was working on that. I think it feels like we're almost there, right, Nadine?
Yeah, so here's what happened with us, right, is they wanted us to submit documents that showed that we had a fictitious business name for Mrs. Fontana. We have since received the letter from the Herald, and today's actually my day to go back to log into Google and find out, like, okay, what's next. And that was actually a question that we were going to ask this morning, is if anybody has gone through the same steps that we have, and any advice or what to expect on what's coming next, because we're like blindly walking in the dark, just doing what they tell us and hoping that, like, okay, cool, is this going to get our Google My Business up and running today?
Yeah, it'll go through. You just got to go through the process. Well, that's exciting. So, yeah. So in a nutshell, here's what I'm getting at is, we're really powerful now because, like, my SEO has really gone through the roof personally, I've noticed. And it's because, for example, when you're at the event, people will see Mr. Claremont on the Sprinter, they Google it, they click on it, boom, everyone's SEO increases, right? And if they Google, appraiser in Claremont, California, they click on Mr. Claremont Real Estate, boom, everyone increases through backlinking. But the most important thing Jeff and I invested in for the group was the key to ranking high, just like any form of prospecting, it's just a numbers game and consistency, right? So if you're consistently doing the metadata infused photos, all you have to do now, right, is consistently post non-AI, non-plagiarized, unique content that's specific to your city. That's what Google wants, right? The hardest thing to do is to create that content. But Jeff and I have located the best writers in the world, and they're able to provide that content for you, and it just goes direct to your landing page. So, for example, we'll look at Mr. Fresno. All he has to do, if this is the new habit I want you guys to be in, is you just Google Mr. Fresno Real Estate, whatever your designation is, right? And if your website's not directly connected to DLE and you have like a standalone independent website, just remember, all you have to do is email web development at designated local expert, and they're going to email you content, right, for a blog post. But for example, so all Mr. Fresno has to do is say Google Mr. Fresno, click on his website, and then scroll down to the blog, right? Now, there's two types of blogs, right? So we have the super blog that just talks about real estate in general, which is unique, good content, right? But what Mr. Fresno, and I'm using him as an example for all of you, all he has to do is look on his blog and see where it talks about Fresno specific, right? And what that is a blog that's designed, that has his keywords, that is talking about real estate and lifestyle in Fresno, and it's going to be multiple paragraphs long. Now, that content is gold, and we just provide it for you. All you have to do is take that content, right, and post it on your Google business profile. Maybe post it on any of the social media that you have that has the same NAP consistency as Mr. Fresno Real Estate, right? And just post it on there, because what do the consumers want? They want a local expert that's providing local, credible information about real estate, right? The internet is not only location specific, it's city specific, and all Google wants is, hey, is there a local guide, which is now on your Google Maps app, right? Literally, we went over this in the mastermind. You click on Google Maps, right? You open it up, your local guide account is here. Your Google business profile is here. Everything's now tied together. And if Google perceives Mr. Fresno Real Estate as a local, credible guy who's, directly connected to DLE, right? We're the authority for local experts, and he's providing consistent, credible, non-AI, unique, human, local content about real estate in Fresno, he's going to rank extremely high and fast. And that will always be the future of SEO. All you have to do is line up the NAP consistency, have your right business name, address, phone number, and website. And all you have to do, and guess what? If you're too busy to post, all you have to do is hire a virtual assistant, which we can connect you to. And all they're going to do is take that content, right? And the photos that you take, that you launch in the MLS and do the metadata injection, and consistently post it on your website blog, which we do for you, your Google business profile, and the social media attached. If you can consistently do that one time per week, you will be at #1 for every keyword, just like I am, right? And listen, I'm talking to you direct from experience, but what I was telling Mr. Fresno is I did just a sneak attack, and I dominated the word appraisal and appraiser. And I literally go on listing appointments all the time, because there's so many, because I'm ranking #1 nationally for Claremont Appraiser, and they perceive Mr. Claremont Real Estate as an appraisal company. And I'm just getting calls all the time, killing the game, right? So it's really wise to just dominate one keyword, whether it's, Mr. Fresno Real Estate or Fresno Appraiser, and then it all starts to sync up, and then you dominate. Does that make sense, everyone? So the key to success, to survive and to just really outrank all your competition, so you're considered for the call to go on the listing appointment, is lining up the NAP consistency. And if you want to take it a step further, think about this, right? Everywhere I go, I've got Mr. Claremont on my chest. I've got it, literally on my Nike Flexit Polo. By the way, if you weren't at the mastermind, Jeff, he mailed you a t-shirt, right? Or you got one at the mastermind. I challenge you to wear your swag, because when I was at Newport Beach last weekend with my wife and girls, I was on vacation mode. Literally, I was having a margarita on the playground, on the sand, playing with my girls, right? And this guy approached me and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Claremont," he goes, "I like that." He goes, "What's that all about?" We started talking about real estate. Long story short, he owns this huge tech company, and he went to college in Claremont. Well, it's a college town, and he's got friends that live in the surrounding areas that now need to sell and head towards Newport. Literally, it just screams business. So I don't care if you're at the beach. I don't care if you're at the grocery store, the gym. If you wear it, it will consistently generate local conversations, which turns into business. If you're consistently posting the content we give you, right, and you're consistently doing the metadata infusions, you will rank high. It's that simple. And the last thing, right, take that shirt, right, the one that, if you weren't at the last mastermind in person, right, and just wear it. What else does Google own, right? So when you look at your Google Maps, it's all connected, right? Local guides, your Google business profile is there. The more you get these numbers up, right, it's the more people viewing it, it increases the probability to get the call. The biggest thing is YouTube, because Google owns YouTube. So if Mr. Fresno was at the gym this morning and he just did, I don't know, he was on the treadmill, if he just did a quick 30-second video, and let's say he was wearing Mr. Fresno swag or not, and he just, I don't know, talked about the gym and said the words literally in the video, "Hey, best real estate agent in Fresno. If you need your home value, call Mr. Fresno Real Estate." And if you post that on his YouTube, that's going to shoot him through the roof, right? Just like the video and picture reviews. What is Google doing? It's like, are these local, real, credible, legit people? That's it. That's all SEO is, right? And that's why when we were in the mastermind, that's why I was saying, like, we could support each other, because you need a minimum of 10 reviews. But if you're getting reviews with customers and doing a selfie or like a video testimonial and getting them to post that, it's gold, because Google's saying, "Hey, for sure, this is a real person." Now, does anyone have any questions on that?
Well, I have a comment. So last week, remember, we had done that. I even sent you a message. I had looked at the blog, and then, to take it and then post it over into my Google business page, there was an error. And then you called them, they fixed it, and then I reposted it. And what had happened is I kept scoring down, like, I think I had dropped down to like 5 to sometimes 10. And just within that week time, putting that one up, I'm number 3 now. And the only 2 people that beat me right now are 2 brokerages.
Oh,
so
now
for Fresno Real Estate now. So it already made an impact that quickly again.
Oh, it's so sensitive, because Google like Google Bard, right? Just like ChatGPT, right? Google is so smart, because what these big dog companies are doing, like if you're in an area where you're competing, if you're anywhere in California, I mean, it's competitive, right? You got like those top 10, 15 brokers that are spending absorbent amounts of money to just get half the resources we're giving you, right? But because what's happening now is Google's brain, it's like Jeff explained to you, it's going to evolve into, generative AI, which is Google Bard. And it's getting so smart that there's the future of real estate, and having a brick and mortar and a virtual office is, because think about it, your competition, they're so busy selling homes, they're not going to take the time to write this unique local content, right? And if you're just spreading it out consistently, let me ask you this, Mr. Fresno, have you done a YouTube video lifestyle-wise about Mr. Fresno? Because I haven't done it. I haven't had the time, but I don't need to, because I'm number 1 on everything, because I'm following everything I'm telling you guys to do. Have you done a YouTube video yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Hey, George, could you repeat what you did again about the blog? Sorry, Anthony, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to take some notes.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, so and Anthony if you look at the Facebook group, the DLE, he clipped some things. I think he was with Evelyn T off of one of her posts. He actually shows some screenshots where you go into your blog off your Google business page that they have set up for you, and then you use that. I go to the DLE because I decided not to have. I'm with EXP. I didn't have my KV core. I employed the DLE Networks website. So when I do things, so when you look down at the bottom, there's the blog there, and there's one specifically that they type in. That's what he was speaking about. That's specifically for Fresno. And what I did was I copied the link off that, then did an update for the my page for my Google business page, and did it as an update where I just copied and pasted the link in there, and then it goes to your Google business page, and then that bumped me back up again because I had started having some problems, getting back up into that ranking and beating some of those people out. Hadn't posted as much as what I normally was. So I was off for a couple weeks, just kind of doing some other stuff. And now today it's already back up to being 3 on there. And like I said, the other 2 that are above me are major brokerages in the Fresno area.
So basically the blogs that are on the DLE website, the one that we have on our Google page, you pretty much updated or refreshed it, and it was a blog specifically about the city of Fresno.
Well, yeah, Mr. Tustin, to answer your question, we've upgraded your membership again, right? So we're delivering more value. So we have the super blog, and is your Google business profile directly connected to the DLE website, or do you have a standalone website?
No, it's directly to the DLE website.
Perfect.
And
all you have to do is Google Mr. Tustin Real Estate, click on the website, scroll down and go to your blog.
Yes.
And there's 2 types of content. We now provide you content that is unique, non-AI, and non-plagiarized, right? So we have a human being that cranks this out, and we give you a blog post every week, 1 per week, right? And all you got to do is scroll on your blog section there, and it's really simple. You're going to see like in general real estate blogs, but then you're going to see blogs specific to Tustin with your keywords in it. You take that content, copy it, because it was launched on the internet and first seen on Mr. Tustin Real Estate's blog on your landing page that's connected to your Google business profile. That content is gold. It is so valuable, right? Because Google just wants to know this. Is Mr. Tustin a real person providing good, useful, local real estate information about Tustin, California? And if you take that content, because the social media that should be on that landing page, let's say you have a Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, right? If those social medias are on that landing page and it's connected to your Google business profile, it has to have, the NAP consistency for Mr. Tustin Real Estate, right? But the point is you take that content, post it on your Google business profile, post it on all of your social media for Mr. Tustin Real Estate. And what Google will do is, wow, Google's looking for a local guide, literally, that provides credible and useful information. That's who's going to rank high, right?
Gotcha.
And if they see Mr. Tustin Real Estate's taking content and he's posting on social media and his Google business profile and blog, which we provide for you, and it's really hard to do. And if you're consistently posting valuable content, if you're consistently posting metadata infused photos, check Mr. Chatsworth. He's not on with us today, but dude's killing the game because he took it a step further and he started the Mr. Chatsworth YouTube channel. Google owns YouTube. And anywhere he goes in Chatsworth, he's wearing his swag. If he's walking the dog, if he's going to the gym, he's on date night with his wife. And it's irrefutable because Google's so smart that it sees the logo on his shirt and knows that's Mr. Chatsworth. And if he says a word like best real estate agent in Chatsworth, I don't care if he's eating spaghetti at a restaurant and talking about the restaurant and why it's good to eat. But if he ties it in, this is why you want to buy a home in Chatsworth, California. We got the best spaghetti in all of California. Any questions about real estate, you could talk to the best real estate agent in Chatsworth, California, Mr. Chatsworth Real Estate. Google can see literally, because he does the metadata infusion, that's Mr. Chatsworth, and it could hear, just like your iPhone Siri, that he said the keywords. It's like a hashtag on social media in the video, right? And if you take that content, right? So if you have video content of you just living your life, like I just took my daughter to school today and I did a quick video like, you know, hey, one of the best schools in Claremont, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to take that and then take the content that I, you know, that I can Google Mr. Claremont. I take it from my blog. And if you're posting metadata infused photos and videos about you wearing your swag, talking about your city, and you're consistently posting that content, you will be #1 for all the keywords quickly. Like we're talking within just less than a few months if you consistently do it, right? And it's any form of real estate prospecting or marketing, it's just a numbers game and consistency. That's all it is. So it's so important. I'm so glad, Mr. Tustin, you asked that question, because it's really important that everyone here is so crystal clear that all it is taking the useful content and spreading it out on your social media. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I did want to add, I started a YouTube channel and I started doing YouTube shorts, and I noticed that prior to that, I was ranking, I think 14 or something like that. Right now I'm ranking among the top 10. I think I'm at 7 or 9. But if I look at Tustin Real Estate or whatever, any search that I do, the videos always come up. So all the shorts are pushing everything to the top. So, you know,
That's
under
cool.
30, 40 seconds. And so I, you know, doing at open houses or stuff like that, I'm trying to use the keywords. And when I do the keywords, I notice that those are the ones that show up higher.
But are you verbally saying the keyword in the video?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
On some of them. At first I wasn't, but now I started to do so.
Right. But think about common sense. Why are the videos gold? Because it's irrefutable that Google's gonna be like, that's Mr. Tustin. Let's start ranking him high. He's a real guy providing great local credible information. He's posting it on his blog. It's on his social media. And there he is. He's wearing the shirt. He's talking about it and he's saying it. And it all links up, right? Not to mention, we're connected through backlinking, right? So that's why I'm telling you, it's like if you just do 30, 40% of what we're saying and what's in the DLE book, you will be #1 on all the keywords. But it just takes time. And then if you want to know, like this Mission Viejo asked me a brilliant question. She goes, well, how do I get more of these phone calls? Well, it's really simple. Click on your Google Maps and look at your views, right? The more views you have, that means more people are looking at you and your profile. And if they click on it and you look professional and you have a decent amount of reviews, of course you're going to be considered for the phone call, right? Because they want the local guide. But what I would challenge you to do, Mr. Tustin, because Tustin's really expensive city in Orange County. When I first came into Claremont, I did a sneak attack. I dominated the word appraisal because I know if I can nationally rank on that keyword, which I do on all of them practically, but at first I did that one. There's, you know, old people live in Tustin and die, and the kids can't afford Tustin. They live in different states. What do they Google? They're like, I want to know the value of the home before I get hounded by some real estate agent. They Google appraisers near Tustin, California. And if Mr. Tustin Real Estate comes up, it's still perceived as an appraisal management company. And I get called, they're like, hey, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I provide the home value for free. But if they want something like a historic appraisal, refer it out, collect your referral fee. That'll pay for your membership, and just wait for the call where they go, no, we need to sell, the parents died. I get those listing calls all the time. You see? So it's like, yeah, go ahead.
So going back to the blogs, are you referencing for us to just specifically look for the ones that are written for that specific city? Meaning, in my case, Mission Viejo.
Correct. So if you Google
right?
Only the ones that are Mission Viejo specific.
Gotcha.
We have multiple. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you do have multiples in there and the different types. And then as far as ChatGPT, you advise us against using ChatGPT contents?
Well, Google is smart. It knows it's AI. So we already provide that. Okay, so if you do it, right? Let's say before I was gonna have this whole session where I was gonna train you guys how to use ChatGPT, plug it into Bard, and then you'd have to put a disclaimer that says it's, you know, AI content, because Google gets smarter every single week. Imagine like a baby genius that just keeps growing up, right? Well, you don't have to anymore because we provide it for you, right? And so let's say you use ChatGPT for your listing description, right? That's fine. You could do that, right? And if you plug it into Bard, there's a special disclaimer where if you ask Bard, say, hey, can you tell me what disclaimer that I could use to give you credit for, you know, so I'm not plagiarizing. And Bard will give you a disclaimer that says, you know, this content was produced by Google Bard, you know, co-hosted by Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate /2023. But the second you start posting AI content or plagiarized content or, you know, non-unique content, meaning like you just grab someone else's content and posted it, they're going to de-rank you fast, right? And so I make it so easy. You don't have to overthink it, right? Like, let's say let's say, you know, we got Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate. She Googles herself and she just looks, oh, this is Mission Viejo specific. You take that content, copy it, post it on your Google business profile, right? And maybe you have a Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate, you know, Instagram. Then go ahead and just post a beautiful picture of yourself, Mission Viejo Real Estate Market Update, and then just post some content on there, right? Because the more you're spreading it out on social media, your Google business profile, and you're killing it with the videos. I see your videos. You look great. They're fun. They're exciting. Think about it. You can post that like in general for your wide net, you know, Miss Mission Viejo serving all of Southern Cal, for example, right? But let's just say you had a Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate YouTube channel. Let's just say, right? And let's say you do your cute videos, which everyone loves, because I love them. If I love it, I know everyone else has got to love it. And then you know how you could slightly edit and at the end of every video, you just said, Mission Viejo's best real estate agent, call Miss Mission Viejo, right? You can take that video and then just slightly crop the last part out and then use that video that's your wide net that you would post to the whole world. And then just take that last part that no one saw that you edited, right? And then post that on the Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate YouTube channel, and that'll shoot your SEO really high and fast. Does that make sense? Because if you're verbally speaking it into the video, Google's going to hear it and know it. And if you're consistently taking that content that's right there, you get 4 of them one per week. It's just cranking out for you. And if you just post it on your Google business profile and a few social medias, you're going to be slammed to the top fast. Make sense? Thanks so much for asking me. Yeah, no, I appreciate you asking. That's a great question. Okay. Anyone else on that topic? It's so important that you guys ask these questions, because Mr. Tustin, Mr. Fresno, we just discovered both you guys started ranking high and fast when you were posting unique content and posting those unique videos, right? Because here's the one thing I can tell you. A lot of your competition right now, Google just did this massive software update last week, right? So many of you might have had reviews and they got dropped off because whatever, it's going through this update. But all you have to do is line up the NAP consistency and just think to yourself, how could I just, be perceived as a unique, real, credible person providing good information? That's really all it is. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, you said those blogs are on the DLE website, right?
Yeah. So when you get your Google business profile set up, right, you're gonna have a landing page that we're gonna directly connect to Miss Fontana Real Estate Google business profile. But until you get to that, like some members have like MissFontana.com, right? The key is when the members directly connect to the website, we have that blog going on rapid fire forum. It's one less step, right? But if you want that content, all you got to do is email web development at designated local expert, and they'll email you all your blog content for the week. And guess what you could use it for? Your print marketing, right? You could use it for the Fontana Bulletin. You could use it for email marketing, whatever you want to use it for.
I can still use it in my existing Google My Business page too, right? My Zacharias team. I mean, it would still be good there too.
Right. You can literally take it. Like, we have a lot of members. Some of them have 2 different identities. If you have time to manage it, that's fine. We have, Mr. and Miss Laverne, but they're also Team Large Real Estate. And they also have like a Mr. and Miss San Dimas, right? 3 different identities. And they're consistently taking the content and just chopping it up and then just spreading it out, right? Because we're busy. We don't have the time to literally type up these unique blogs, but we just give it to you. So yeah, you could use these tactics to rank your other profiles high too.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Okay. I'm going to do that.
But what makes you, the advantage that the biggest advantage you get is through the backlinking and the name Miss Fontana Real Estate, right? So it'll be fun for you to see, like, because is your Zachariah team real estate, right? Is that in the city of Fontana or outside of Fontana?
It's outside of Fontana.
Right. So you could try ranking high in another city, but the biggest SEO advantages is the name of your business, the backlinking, and just being directly connected to the network. So all the swag juice, link juice, it all transfers to you. But you can still use it for the metadata infusions and spread out the content, and it'll definitely help. You just have to make that content not Fontana specific, but change the keywords to whatever city you're in. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay. Anyone else on this topic here?
Anthony, I have a different topic.
Go ahead.
I'm forgive me because it's like our first time running through this a couple of times, but the metadata infused pictures, can we go through that process together? Because I've come through some obstacles, and like I got one listing back easy. The other listing came back and it wasn't so easy. So if I could tell you my situation of what happened, and then maybe you can present solution in case anybody else has had it or is going through it or whatever.
So if it's a deep dive on this, when we hop off the Zoom, shoot me a text and we'll go into it. The best thing to do is just upload it into a Google Drive link, send it to the back end team.
Yeah.
And then they'll get it back within 24 to 48 hours. What I usually do is I'll put in the email, here's a Google Drive link, and I have 52 photos in this link, right?
Gotcha.
So then that confirms with them, okay, there's 52 photos, right? And then they'll scan them all and then say this, because if you do look, we upgraded the keywords, right? So
yes.
We have 83 different keywords. Now, I'm glad you brought this up. So everyone listen carefully, right? Everything is about going hyper-local. Maybe you want to do what I'm telling you. Think about it like this. Everyone listen carefully. Let's say you just wanted to dominate the word appraisal. Let's just say that, right? If I was you, or let's just say it was Fontana real estate agent, you wanted to just go for the prime keyword first. That's fine. What I did was I said to the team, I first wanted to own Mr. Claremont real estate, right? And then obviously the keyword Mr. Claremont. So when they see the van Mr. Claremont, and they Google that, Mr. Claremont real estate comes up. That's number one. Number two, Claremont real estate, I wanted to own that word. And then number three, because it was so competitive in Claremont for everyone wanting, Claremont real estate agent, I went for Claremont appraiser and appraiser in Claremont. But what I did is I only focused on one keyword. So when I got listings, right, I would say only do a metadata injection with my Google listing coordinates, the keyword Claremont appraiser and Claremont appraisal and appraisal in Claremont for every single one of my photos. And when I send my Google Drive link, I say, hey team, there's 62 photos in here, and I only want these 3 keywords for all of my photos. And then when you get the content now, right? If you're trying to dominate a keyword quickly, which is now on your blog, so when you Google, Miss Fontana's not up and running yet, but let's say you're Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate, right? And you got that content, go through and start plugging in the word Mission Viejo Realtor, Mission Viejo Appraiser, appraisers in Mission Viejo. And if you do metadata injections with one keyword and your content is focused on one keyword, what do you think is going to happen when you're consistently posting that content and keywords out there? And God forbid, let's say Miss Mission Viejo does one of her awesome videos and just at the very end says, Mission Viejo Real Estate, it's best appraisal. If you're looking to get a free appraisal on your home, call Miss Mission Viejo. What the hell do you think is going to happen? Like Google's going to literally slam you to the top so fast. And if you just do that one time per week and adjust your keywords and you go all in on one keyword, you're just going to rise to the top quickly. And then once you own the keyword for appraisal or appraiser in your city, then move on to the next one. I mean, but don't let it go, right? You still got to, dominate. And then what happens is you start dominating all 83 of those keywords. But the best strategy, in my opinion, is to leverage the swag, right? So the first word you're going to have to go for is just the word Mr. Fontana or Miss Fontana, MISS, MRS, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're wearing the shirt or if it's the lifestyle brand, because you guys are really involved in your community and they Google it, you need Miss Fontana Real Estate to come up. That's like a no-brainer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm telling you this long explanation because when it comes to dealing with the guys on the back end, you just send a Google Drive link, tell them how many photos there are, tell them what keywords you want to focus on. My best advice is focus on 3 to 5 at a time and just hit it hard.
Yeah, and I appreciate it because it's, the form itself is very easy and it was really easy to move around. I love that. I just had the little struggle on the other end and I'm like, I know this is because it's new for me. So the suggestions are great. Question for you, those 83 words, I mean, I probably know about 7 of them. I probably know more than 7 and don't even realize it. Where can I find that list?
I believe I posted it in the Facebook group and I'll just text it to you. But here's the key with ChatGPT. Right. So I'll text it to you direct. That's what I'm here for. But it's, it's really easy because, ChatGPT is powerful, right? So like you guys think, oh, I'm going to spend all this time typing up your keywords. I'll just literally on my notepad, take the 83 keywords that starts with Claremont Real Estate Agent, Claremont Realtors. I could copy that, post it in a ChatGPT and just say, everywhere it says Claremont, replace it with the word Fontana. And it'll go, and then it's just custom, right? So, So what I'm telling you is what's happened in the industry. Everyone like that knows how to operate ChatGPT. They're all like, ooh, they're all like using AI content, but Google's smart. It knows it's AI. So don't use it, right? But you can use it for like stuff like that. Here's another fun one. You want to know another hack? You guys ready? Let's just pull out the phone. You should be using Google Bard. Right? Because why? That's Google's version of ChatGPT, but it's on steroids because it's directly connected to the search engine and they've basically created like an artificial person. Does that make sense? Yeah. But you can see the Bard. So how do you access Bard? You have a Gmail account. Do you see how it's all connected? Okay. Yeah. So I just keep a link on my phone. It's Bard.com, right? And I go to it. You can literally say to Bard, hi, Bard, I am Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate. I was informed that you are the marketing director for designated local expert. Can you please help increase my local Google business profile SEO and list your keywords? And then Google Bard is going to respond and he's going to help you.
Oh,
I know this will blow your mind for a second, okay? But the point is this. Jeff and I, besides hiring the best content writers to provide that content for you, we have hired other Google product experts, substantially more, intelligent than some that we've introduced you to, that now have Google Bard evens working for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you take those, now look, Google Bard, sometimes you'll make errors, but Google Bard has been trained, right, by some of the smartest people in the world that Jeff and I have, coordinated with to get Google Bard to know us, like us, trust us, and work for us to help you. And it's just funny because it's so beautiful because literally in 1 to 2 years, when Google fully makes the hop to generative AI, which is just basically Google Bard talking to you, we've already trained Google Bard to know who you are. And he will literally, like, you've heard ChatGPT knows how to code, right? You guys heard about that?
Yeah.
You still with me, right? Google Bard
Yeah.
knows how to do SEO. And what the public doesn't know yet is that they think Google Bard is like a knockoff version of ChatGPT. No, it's substantially more advanced. And I'm not a smart guy, but what's my responsibility to you guys in the network? I pay the smartest people, get the knowledge and information, and I transfer it to you. But you can literally take those list of 83 keywords and identify yourself, say, hey, Google Bard, I miss Mission Viejo real estate. You know what else you could do? You want to use ChatGPT, Miss Mission Viejo. Say to this, type in a ChatGPT, right? You could say, hey, I want to write a clear and concise message to Google Bard and let him know that I know he is a marketing director of the designated local expert, and I want him to help me rank my Google business profile for the #1 position for all of these keywords and list 83 of them, plug it into ChatGPT, and guess what ChatGPT will do? It will literally give you the message, and you can take that message and it'll plug it right into Bard, and then Bard will communicate back and say, hi, Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate. Yes, I'm the marketing director of designated local expert. I'm here to rank you high. I'm going to start working right away. And it will literally do that. Kind of like a virtual assistant, right? But that kind of knowledge is extremely powerful. Why? Because you're now leveraging one form of AI to help you communicate with a super powerful AI to help be basically your assistant, right? Google owns Google Business Profile, and it's going to rank you high. And if Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate said, hey, by the way, Bard, did you like my video that I just did? And you could have a conversation with Bard like it's a super genius best friend. You guys don't look too impressed. What's going on here? Am I not seeing the screen? What's the response on that? How does that make you feel? Talk about a step further.
I'm taking some notes so I can put this to work.
Same.
Yeah, it's all connected. Do you see?
Yeah, makes sense. I like the you are my marketing director factor.
We have
To
trained
Bard.
Google
Yeah.
Bard to be literally one of the marketing directors for designated local expert. We've invested heavy into the infrastructure to support you guys, right?
It's a whole other way of doing business than what we know from before.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, because
Like my brain just it's great. Like as you're telling me, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. My daughter, she does coding. So when you said, ChatGPT does coding, and I remember when she told me, and I'm like, yeah. And I mean, to be quite honest with you, this might sound like real basic, but I was impressed when ChatGPT wrote my profile description for a listing. So for it to do this is just like it takes some process time in my brain for me to be like, okay, this is how we're doing business now. Like,
you got to be on top of it, right? Because when Google evolves and it just becomes this word. It's called generative AI. That's basically just Google Bard is the new search engine, period. Because what are the facts? 95% of searches, people don't go to websites, they just Google. And everything's city specific, and what you want to be perceived from Google Bard, you need to start training Google Bard to know who you are, right? And he will literally, he doesn't code for you, but he will do SEO for you because Google Bard owns the Google business profiles. Google Bard owns YouTube, right? And so what they want is a local guide. Your local guide account should be named Miss Mission Viejo Real Estate, where you can leave reviews on restaurants. It's all connected, right? This is the future to everything, and it's big money, big money. Listen, folks, guess what happened to me yesterday? This lady Googled Mr. Claremont. She goes, hey, I got one of your, this was last week. I got one of your mailers from the Claremont Bulletin. She thought that was from the city. She goes, you know, but I threw it in the trash can. I'm like, great. And I was like, how long ago was that? She's like, you know, a few months ago, but I never forgot Mr. Claremont. And I was like, okay. I was like, how'd you find me? Well, she goes, well, first I Googled Claremont Realtors and boom, I saw you in the top 3. And then I clicked on you because I immediately remember Mr. Claremont Real Estate, right? Long story short, it was a combination of me ranking high and just doing a basic mail campaign. I got this $1.2 million listing signed for $1,050,000 at 6%, 150 under market. I said to her, look, the best strategy is to price it strategic, draw in all these buyers and bid it up, right? Maybe if I wasn't ranking high, she wouldn't have called me, right? But guess what's going to happen? I'm going to put that short code sign writer out there, Mr. Claremont Real Estate, and post one photo, launch it in the MLS, and everyone's going to drive by and text that short code. And guess what's going to happen, guys? When they text the Mr. Claremont short code, it sends them straight to MrClaremont.com, which is directly backlinked to DLE. So I'm going to literally have hundreds of buyers driving by, texting that short code. They're going to come to my website. What is that going to do for your SEO? That's going to shoot your SEO through the roof. I'm going to be flooded with buyers, doubling the listing, and I'm going to make 60 to 70 grand like that because I'm ranking high. This is serious. This is big money, and this is how it works. So it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful time because my success is yours. We're connected. There's literally no one has this knowledge that I'm giving you, let alone the infrastructure behind